This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Aurora, Colorado. I'm here at Redefy. Since 2011, they are changing the way that homes are sold, not only locally, but really across the nation. I'm here with Michael McCarthy, GM. Let's share a little bit about yourself, first of all. I mean, the constant when it comes to business and improving our business is always asking, is there a better way? I mean, quite honestly, that is how this company began. Share with me how you got involved with the organization.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Thanks for being here. About 5 years ago, we identified a little bit of an opportunity in the market where houses are going to sell regardless of what individual agents do because of the economic factors in play, such as short supply, high demand, those sort of things, and how much affordability goes into it for a house. There's lots of different things in play that allow people to purchase a home. And agents are one of those things, but not necessarily the main thing. So me and a couple of the founders got together and we decided what's the least amount we can charge and still provide a quality experience for people selling their homes, buying their homes, whatever that looks like. And we settled on a number of $3,000. And since then, we've seen a lot of support from the market, a lot of demand for our product. And I think the first year we sold 200 houses, the next year 400, the year after that 600. And it's just been some phenomenal growth along with the growth that the state of Colorado and the Denver metropolitan area has experienced, and we've been able to save a lot of money for our home sellers.
Absolutely. I mean, quite honestly, the real estate market constantly always changing. Like you said, be it ups or downs, trends come and go. And yet this old traditional way of commission, I mean, that hasn't changed. It's almost like we haven't changed that model to grow with the market. Share with our viewers out there, the ones that aren't aware of what the traditional real estate commission, how it works.
Sure. So there's generally three costs when selling your house, right? And 6% is a traditional number that has been thrown around across the United States, and Colorado has been no exception. Seattle's no exception. Texas, it's 6%. And 3% of that, or 50% of that commission, typically goes to the listing agent, the person who is selling the house for the owner. The other 3% would then go to the buyer's agent, someone bringing the buyer to purchase that property. So you have two of your three costs right there. The other one is title work or escrow work, whatever that looks like in the state that you live in. You're going to have to pay that regardless. But those are your three main costs. And when you have a market that is as hot as Colorado's market or Seattle's market or Texas, or really just the United States right now, because everyone remembers '08 and how slow it was, and it's gotten better since then, there's an undersupply of homes. There is a ton of demand for homes out there, so you don't need to overpay to have somebody else sell your house when the market is going to drive 95% of that. Now, if you have a super custom home in a one-off location, I get it. That's probably not our bread and butter. But the majority of our people who appreciate our service, who like money, who see our value, we fit that model perfectly, right? We are a good fit for them. They can save thousands, and the average price point, I believe, is somewhere in the neighborhood of $440,000 in the Colorado area. Across the nation, it's a little bit lower than that, but we're saving people thousands of dollars compared to that 3%. So it's really their equity. Why not give it to them?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm proud to say I don't need a calculator. I can crunch the numbers in my head. You guys are able to save hundreds, thousands of dollars on the typical home out there. How does this model different? Share with me how the flat rate model works.
Yeah, there's really nothing different than you would get from a traditional agent, if you will. It starts off with an initial consultation where we tell you what your home is worth, and we really try to understand why you're selling, because that's important, right? I don't want you to move twice if you don't have to. I don't want you to sell if it doesn't make financial sense, right? We're going to partner with you in that one, but we're going to consult with you, show you what the market is saying that your home is worth, provide you with meaningful data so that you know what you can do with your house, your asset, and does it make sense to sell? Does it make sense to upgrade, or do you need to downgrade, or do you need to stay put? What does that look like? After that, if you agree to go forward with us, we take care of all the contracts. We take care of populating everything on the MLS. We then syndicate your listing to thousands of websites to get as many eyes on your property as possible, because most people are searching online right now, right? You know, if you bought a house in the last 5 years, you've probably looked online. You're not looking in the paper each week to see what's coming up or anything else like that. They might be searching in their PJs in Ohio or something like that, and they're looking in Colorado. We make sure that we can get plenty of eyes on that. We have professional grade photography. We provide a sign, a lockbox, contract negotiation, and full representation from start to finish. We have a showing service. We do it all, you know, and for a flat rate.
It seems to me, Michael, when someone sees a flat rate like this, especially a low flat rate, it's tempting to believe that this is almost a listing fee, but this is a full service representation by a real estate professional.
Yeah, 100%. We represent you from start to finish. And really the benefit of Redefy versus just the traditional agent model is we have a very large team. The traditional agent, according to some statistics out there, does 3 to 4 deals a year. Okay? Our average agent does 60 to 70 deals a year, and our contract management team that supports our average agent does hundreds of deals a year. So you get all of that experience, right? The hundreds of transactions a year, right? Whether it's inspection issues or appraisal issues, because if you've sold a house, you know it's not linear, it's not easy, stuff happens. And when you have a team of experts behind you to guide you through that process, who are not doing this once a quarter. This is our full-time job. We don't play real estate. We do it as our full-time job. We earn our livings that way, and we want to make sure that you get that expertise and we can pass those savings along to you.
I mean, a lot of folks out there, when they're looking at a new way of doing things, they ask themselves, how can you do this? How is it possible? But really what you've provided here is a repeatable process. It's a successful system. I mean, quite honestly, the flat rate has existed many years before, but you guys have put it together in a way that you can roll it out across the nation.
Yeah, we can scale our business. That we're in a dozen plus markets nationwide with this model, and we've been received well in those markets. And it's a niche. Like if you don't like money, you're probably not our ideal client, right? But if you do, and you understand that I'm going to get the best bang for my buck by going with a company who can get my listing out there to as many people as possible, and that I trust has the experts on their team to negotiate the best deal, to help everything out there, we're that company for you. And part of it is putting the right seats on the bus. You know, we have our outside agents and we have our inside agents, and we support each other. And you don't get that team mentality if you're a single agent who only has 1 or 2 deals, because you're worried about your next deal, right? If you're focusing on, I got this one, I'm ready about my next one. So we have a robust marketing team who spends thousands of dollars marketing our product and marketing your home so that we can get lots of eyes on it, so that we don't have to worry about the marketing aspect and we can focus on the customer to get their deal closed for them.
I mean, quite honestly, when someone out there decides they possibly want to sell their home, I mean, they start thinking about it. Right at that moment, I see the need for to consult a professional, because quite honestly, as a seller, I get emotional about my house. A professional does not. Why is it important that you sit down at that consultation and make sure you put the right price on the home, making sure you're going to get the best bang for your buck, yet at the same time, it's not going to sit on the market?
Yeah, that's crucial, right? Because there's intrinsic value on every home out there. Maybe you did a project. I know in our house, we've done some projects. We've painted walls, the blood, sweat, and tears that is home renovation for a lot of people. And it's tough to put a value on that one. But as an expert, we can come in and provide data that is real data, that's meaningful data, the same data that other agents, that appraisers, that people that are loaning people money use, not the data that you might get from someone down the street where they said, oh, well, so-and-so sold their house for $1 million, and come to find out they didn't. And what we know is that if you overprice a house, there becomes a little bit of a stigma, right? And everyone wants to overprice their house because they're afraid that they might leave some money on the table, and I completely get that. We help guide them through that process. But price and location are the 2 biggest factors when selling a home. And then the condition for that price and location will really, really drive the offer. So we can get plenty of eyes on it. We can get plenty of people into your home for showings. But pricing it right is important, because if there's several houses for sale and yours is 10, 15, 20% higher, and maybe there's reasons behind that, and I respect those reasons. You need to hit a certain number so you can take that trip across the world, or what that looks like, or pay for your son or daughter's education. I get that. But if we can save you money and get you top dollar because of the economic situation that we're dealing with supply and demand, that to me is a win-win.
folks out there thinking of selling their home. They're out buying homes. Obviously, Denver is moving quickly. People moving in. It can be overwhelming for them. Is that a side that you are able to help with? Folks that are actually buying here in the Denver market?
Absolutely. Yes, we can help them with that for sure. We buy a lot of houses too. We have the great value proposition on the listing side that everybody knows about, that everyone likes to do. What they didn't know when we first started out is that we also help people buy homes, right? And moving is tough. Moving is difficult. We see a lot of stress in moving, and moving twice stinks. So our team of experts, when we sell your house and we save you thousands of dollars, we are also figuring out ways that we can align those dates so that you don't have to move twice, that maybe we can get you a rent back if you need a rent back into your home, or a post-closing occupancy agreement, as we like to call it, so that you can move from one house to another without finding in-between housing if we can avoid that. And our team is pretty good. And one of the words that people don't like using is contingency, right? And contingency is when you have a house to sell in order to buy another one. Our team of negotiators is able to get a lot of contingent properties bought and sold for people, and that makes them feel safe, that they're not going to be homeless. Great, they've saved a bunch of money, but are they going to be homeless? Well, we don't want to have that happen, so we're pretty good at avoiding that.
Initial consultation, you're talking about staging tips. You're talking professional photography you're able to provide there, even curb appeal. I mean, it can be kind of overwhelming when someone's selling their home. I mean, to walk somebody through those steps, kind of nice to have that peace of mind knowing that somebody has done this time and time again.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you get. The benefit of volume is expertise. When you do as many transactions as we do, there's so much knowledge that we get to pass along. And we'll get questions like, hey, do I need to paint this room? Or do I need to repaint my whole house, or change this carpet out? And because we've seen so many houses, because we've sold so many houses, and we know what the market is doing, we have a pulse on the market. And one of the things we like to say around here is that we know what the market is doing before the economic indicators come in to tell us what the market is doing. We get about a 45-day head start because of our lead generation system for buyers and sellers, so we can see if the market's heating up a little bit. We know if we're going to have appraisal issues because of how many houses we have under contract, and we know if we can push the market a little bit because of demand in this area through multiple offer situations.
Obviously, the seller benefits from that knowledge that you bring to the table as well. Once the lockbox is in place, yard sign is up, those are a lot of the physical tools that we've done for some time, but your company has gone beyond the physical into technology. I mean, would this business model even be possible without technology 20 years ago?
You know, it'd be hard sledding, I can tell you that, to do that. The old days of opening up the book and understanding where the listings were and scheduling and getting everything squared away, it's a bit antiquated. And sure, I think that it would be extremely cost prohibitive to do that back then. But with the invention of technology, with the smartphones, love them or hate them, it is very easy to see how much a house is worth, what's available for you, and will it meet your needs. And there's the large players out there, the portals that people search, they're all the same. They're all pulling the data from the same place, but they're just something to look at. What we really differentiate ourselves in is making sure that we can see or have you show up on all of those portals, right? Pass along those savings to you, right, and negotiate you through that process. So our data, our systems, our procedures, our technology is just as good, if not better, than some of the major players out there. I'd argue that our website is better than some of the more popular brands out there, and that we have more traffic than some of the individual agents or powerhouse teams, if you will, that exist, because we are a known quantity in the markets that we're in.
It is interesting how much power a realtor professionally has at their disposal. Click of a button, you're really able to push that out to hundreds, if not thousands, of websites. This has to make it a great way. When people back in the day used to do FSBO to save a little bit of time, not only is that not a safe approach, but it's not a smart approach in this day and age because of the fact that, I mean, you're really limiting how many people are going to come to the table with offers.
Yeah, it is extremely difficult to sell a house by yourself. And I mean, look, we do this every day. I had way more hair when I started this venture than I do now, but the stress that goes into selling a house is not something to take for granted. And if you have all the time in the world and you've got great cameras and you're a phenomenal tech person and you're a master negotiator and you understand what it's like to get a sewer line replaced or have 15 contractors in your back pocket to get that done, and you don't have to worry about time, Go sell the house by yourself. There's some people that want to do that. But if you don't, for $3,000, I can take that pain away and be the one person you need to consult with. Our team of experts can take that pain away of figuring out, is this a good photo? Or do I need to declutter this? Or should I paint that wall? Or what's a radon test? Or what is an acceptable, what's the box, electrical configuration in this house, because we've seen it? Or is this person bluffing that they're really going to blow up this deal? No, we see it all the time. We know what to do, and we know which lenders are easy to work with and which ones are going to require additional paperwork. We know which agents, because again, we do a lot of volume, are going to perform, because our goal is to sell your house for top dollar and save your money, not try lots of things and keep what works.
I mean, gone are the days of trying to save a penny and basically costing yourself many dollars in the long run. That's really what happens here in real estate. Because of technology, do you think that people are, the process is more transparent? I mean, people feel more connected. The sellers, they're able to know almost in real time what's going on out there.
I think for what's happened in real estate is kind of what happened to the medical community when WebMD came out. Everyone's sharpshooting their doctors and telling them what they think they have, and then it really isn't the case. There's so much information at our fingertips that people tend to get caught up in what they read on the internet. And it's a great tool. The technology is a great tool to understand ballpark ideas of what your home is worth. But unless you're in that house, right? I can't tell if you have gold-plated everything inside your house from the outside. I can't tell if it's upgraded to the hilt, or I can't tell if it's the same 1932 furnishings that it had when it was built back in 1932, complete with lead pipe and everything else like that. We can't tell. You need an expert who knows the market. So there is a lot of technology, and that can help get your eyes, or get many eyes on your product. Technology can help streamline the contract process. What technology can't do, though, is sell your house without an expert agent, such as a Redefy agent, on your side.
Excellent. I mean, technology is great. We've outgrown the open house. We've outgrown the antiquated flyers, if you will, that are old by the next day. You're taking kind of real estate into a whole new direction, or into the 21st century, should we say. Are people pleasantly surprised? Obviously they are when it comes to the fee, but are they pleasantly surprised at how full service and you're able to walk them through the pre-listing all the way to the closing table?
We had some raving fans out there. And a lot of it is because of such poor experiences that they've had in the past. If someone's charging you 3%, and I said the average price point's probably call it $400,000, so $12,000. Someone is earning $12,000 to sell your house. And what happens if that house sells in 2 days? Was it worth it? Maybe. But if someone's overpaying to print out some flyers that they're going to change that's not going to have anything to do because your house is going to be under contract in a week, was it worth $12,000? Sure. Maybe not. Right? If someone is paying you $12,000 and your house sits on the market because it's not priced correctly, because I didn't help you manage your expectations, or I didn't give you a couple of tips that would get your house prepared accordingly, like, replace that roof that's falling apart, or I like lime green as much as the next person, but I might not want it on the exterior and interior of my house. There's different things out there from your competitive homes to get you sold faster. Is it really worth paying that money? And I think if you can get your home on as many websites as possible and get your price right, you're going to get a lot of showings. And knowing that there's a supply problem in the United States because builders still haven't caught back up, your house will sell, and we can save you that money without you having to overpay for 3% for flyers or for an open house that really won't sell your house.
Excellent. I mean, before we said the question of, is there a better way to do something? Improves business across the board, not only in this industry, but any other. When you sat down with the founders 5+ years ago, and you put this together, put it in a way that you can roll it out. I mean, systematically make it available to everyone across the nation. As you see it evolve into what it is, does this continue to be rewarding for you, especially when you see these people saving that kind of money?
Oh, totally. There is nothing more exciting than the beginning of the year when I host our team meeting where everybody shows up and we calculate how much money we saved our friends, our families, our neighbors, our clients in listing commissions, right? Last year, I think we saved somewhere in the neighborhood of $8 million that can go to a lot of different stories, right? Whether that's they're paying for the college education, they're paying for that trip, they're using it for upgrades in their next home. whatever that looks like. That's a lot of money that is just going back into the pockets of people we know, people we don't know but got to meet, got to guide them along the way, and then they refer us out to all their friends and family.
Because after all, no offense, I'd rather keep the equity in my home than pass it off to somebody else. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is their website. First of all, if you're in the Denver area, obviously easy access here in the Aurora. Come down to the office, check it out, and basically learn a little bit more about the team there. If you're across the nation, they've already got cities they're rolling out there as well. You can check them out. But obviously, take a look at the testimonies. You're going to find folks out there that are pleasantly surprised. First of all, very surprised when they see a flat rate. It's something they're not used to, but even more so surprised when they realize you're not losing anything. You're getting the full service professionalism that not only is safe when it comes to the closing table, but it's also profitable because of the fact you want somebody out there. Like you said, it takes an entire team to take this house, push it out there, and get it done in days rather than sitting on it for months. And after a while, people are no longer attracted to your home anymore if it sits there for a while. Information is right there at the bottom of the screen. This is a company that began back in 2011. That is Redefy, basically changing the way homes are sold. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV. And if you don't know, now you know.